There is a responsibility on the part of the Greek government. Tents and containers should only be used as a last resort. So there is a responsibility on the Greek government to ensure that basic accommodation and needs are met. On the other hand, there is a big burden on the rest of Europe in terms of solidarity. There is a relocation scheme in place, but just over 6% of those promised relocations have happened. This is outrageous. We need to see a concerted effort by other European states to relocate people out of Greece and to get out of the situation. There also needs to be proper security measures in the camps to make sure that the rights and protection of refugees and migrants are reached, and simple things. It's so important for the rights of women and girls, for example, that there are separate toilet facilities for that. Not even that is happening, and that's of deep concern. And the Greek government does have a very serious responsibility to play in that. We're asking, of course, that the Greek asylum authorities also speed up the case, especially take care of those vulnerable groups that we're still seeing in terrible conditions. So I think although on a broad scale you can see that now a lot more resources have come in, still at this more basic level we're not seeing the results that we need, and all those different elements will have to come together to deliver a change for the better. I was personally very inspired by some of the amazing people on the ground, both in Lesbos and here this morning in Athens. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things to help those in need. However, it's very clear that on the broader European level, there needs to be more relocation, more resettlement places, and a rights-based approach to treat these people with the dignity that they so deserve. That is what a main message that Amnesty International has. Of course, as you will be aware, Amnesty International is deeply critical of the EU-Turkey statement. There are a number of reasons for this. First and foremost, let's put it in context. Of the 95% of Syrian refugees are hosted in just 5 countries. Not one of those countries is an EU member state. Europe is not doing globally its fair share in the face of a global refugee crisis, and they're even proposing for the ones that have arrived here that they would send them back to Turkey, which in Amnesty International's view, by no stretch of the imagination, is a safe place for refugees. For many months now, some of the people I spoke to, the refugees, are in deep distress. They don't know what's happening to them, they don't have basic information, and they're literally being forced to sleep in the mud in tents that are just not fit for human beings, frankly. So there has to be a joint, immediate effort to alleviate that situation. It is an absolute shame in Europe to see that this is happening in 2016. We have such vulnerable people sleeping literally in the mud.